Let's go, King Halo! So I have no idea. Oh, okay. Wow, she is totally blocked, dude. Whoa. All right, welcome to another episode of No Cards, No Problem. I think that's what I went with on this title, but I can't put it on the YouTube title because it's just really bad for the algorithm. Anyway, King Halo is the subject of today's episode. We're going to be doing a play guide for her. This is a beginner's play guide meant for fresh accounts, meant to be relatable to newer players who maybe don't have that many SSR cards. And so we are only going to be using SR cards. Let me just show you here. We're using only SR cards or lower. We did not roll very good on this account. I mean, we do have SSRs, but I can't use them, right? We don't have that many SRs. So hopefully this account playthrough will be pretty relatable to you. But let's go ahead and talk about King Halo. So King Halo is a pretty difficult racer. If I recall correctly, I have played her quite a bit, or at least her cheerleader outfit in the Japanese version. The reason why she's a little difficult is if you look at her goals, you can see Hopeful Stakes is medium. You have Satsuki Sho, that's medium. Japanese Derby, that's medium, and that's also a very long distance medium track. It's only 100 meters away from being considered a long distance track. So she likes to run a lot of medium tracks. She needs to run a lot of medium tracks. She also needs to place in the top 5. But if you notice, her distance aptitude doesn't have a rating on medium. So some people who would go into this blindly and not check the career info will probably get blindsided if they don't pick the right parents. And so it's very important over here on the legacy screen to pick legacy Umas that will help you shore up your bad aptitude ratings. So if I take a look over here, what else does King Halo need to run? Well, she needs to run the Kikuka Sho. The Kikuka Sho, however, is a long distance track, and it's not necessary to place within the top 5. So we don't really need to prepare for a long distance track. We don't need to play into King Halo C rating or improve this rating at all. It's okay to just lose the Kikuka Sho. And for free-to-play players, it's probably like the only thing you can do, right? So Takamatsunomiya Kinen over here is a sprint distance and mile distance. So it's funny that we get the easier tracks, the tracks more suited for King Halo later in her career. Maybe she has a change of mind. Maybe she understands later, only later, that this is what she's good at. But at the very end is the medium track, the Tenno. So that's the career info for King Halo. And that's how you can kind of get a good start, is by making sure you're changing the aptitude ratings. Let's take a look at her details. So we see her growth rate has plus 20% power and plus 10% guts. So 10% guts isn't very useful. 20% power is pretty nice, especially if we build King Halo to be a late surger. And usually our goal with these runs is not to get like a high score rating, but it's usually to clear URA, or reach the URA finale, because these accounts are pretty weak. And also the goal is to make as good of a horse as we can for racing. There are still like some specifics in terms of making a team trial horse. You kind of want like cheap skills and skills that proc very easily, as opposed to skills that are powerful. But our goal is usually to make what is the best horse that we can make, the one that can win races. So that is what our goal usually is for this series. Now for this character, we already talked about the growth rate. The next important thing to talk about is her unique skill. Call Me King. Increase velocity in a true display of skill with 200 meters remaining after racing calmly. And so what does racing calmly mean? Well, when you do the races towards like halfway or a third into the race, your Uma might get rushed. They might get rushed if they have very low wit. Wit is a resistance to being rushed. And when your Uma is rushed, what happens is your Uma will feel like they need to run at a faster pace to catch up. And in doing so, will consume 60% more stamina. And that's going to usually spell disaster. And it's even doubly so with King Halo, because if she is rushed at any point during the race, then her signature ability will not activate. If you have trouble understanding what these abilities do, I would suggest you to take a look at GameTora. GameTora is a database website for everything Umamusume, and they have a global version over here. Just click this cog wheel and click the correct version. But you can take a look at that and take a look at the unique skill. Like, that's a confusing skill. What does it do? Click the details, look over here, and you'll see the conditions. Temptation count must be 0, needs to be within 200 meters. You need to be within or after 5th place, right? You have to be towards the front. If you don't know what these conditions mean, you can click on this link over here and it'll tell you temptation count. What does that mean? The number of times you've been rushing kakari during the race. Don't worry about kakari. That's just how it is in Japanese. And this was like a database website that was with the Japanese version. But anyway, that's how you can kind of like diagnose what is wrong with your Uma, or like what you kind of have to keep in mind when you race her. There's not too much a like weak or starting beginning player can do to sort of circumvent this though, because being a late surger, King Halo, we want to make sure that we have a nice decent balance of speed and power. And we also need to make sure our stamina's up because, again, for her career goals, her biggest races is like the Japanese Derby. It's a medium distance track, and it's also pretty beefy in terms of distance. So we do need to have like a pretty good balance of all 3 of our main stats, speed, stamina, and power. And so that's like the real challenge in raising an effective King Halo. It's not that easy to just like put 6 speed cards and just go speed, especially if your card quality isn't very good. So we're going to be trying to build a late surger King Halo. We're going to try and keep a good balance of all of these things. And on top of that, we have to try and also use a lot of wit as well, or build wit up to a certain point such that we don't get rushed, such that our unique skill can proc. And, you know, sometimes it's just going to happen, and that's something totally outside of our control. Sorry. I am going to pick a friend guest. All I want to make sure is that the medium distance is an A rating, so we will go ahead and do this. She's not very good. She's going to give me guts. No one's going to give me stamina unless I find someone that does give me stamina, and I think I am going to find someone here. That's Daiwa Scarlet. So as long as affinity is circle, we are good to go. Nothing else to really worry about there. All right, so this is the deck we are using. I'm going to go over this pretty quickly. Sweep Tosho is an SR speed card, and it's a pretty good stat stick for our purposes. Specialty priority in the support effects and training effectiveness in the unique perk means that she's going to land on her speed training a lot more, so we could build friendship with her easy, so that we could get friendship trainings on speed faster. And because she has pretty good skills, we have positioning skills over here, which is going to help if we build King Halo as a late surger, as well as we have debuffs like Trick. The next card I want to talk about is Tokai Teo. Tokai Teo has specialty priority as well. She's a rare card because we just don't have very good SR cards. And for this, we are going to be valuing her also for her skills. She has plenty of maneuverability skills, which a lot of people would say is not too important. I do want to kind of throw that out there. But personally, I do find them a little more effective, especially when I'm racing or raising a late surger, because they do have to maneuver around more Umas. So Asian Flash is another card that we're using. We were able to limit break her twice, so she's level 30. She has specialty priority as well, so she's going to help land on that speed training a lot more. And she has really nice, effective late surger skills that will give us that extra boost in speed. The next one here is Mihono Bourbon. This is a power card. We are basically using this as a stat stick. Specialty priority 38 is what we have over here. We also have some nice initial power and initial friendship gauge, help us build friendship with her a lot faster. And her skills are not really anything for us to care about because they are only really applicable to front runners. So not too much over there. Next card is Agnes Tachyon, and really any SR wit card is going to pretty much do what you need it to do, in that it has wit friendship recovery, so you'll get more energy recovery whenever you do wit training, and it's a friendship training with them. And you have specialty priority, means they'll land on wit training more often, which is exactly what you want for, you know, any kind of like attribute card. You want specialty priority. The next thing and the last card over here is Super Creek. This is a level 35, so it's limit broken by 1 time. It's our 1 borrowed SSR, and you can borrow an SSR too. You could find like probably better SSRs to borrow. And what is nice about this card though is the stamina bonus 1. That is a extra point in the base gain for your stamina training. And how this base gain works is that it applies before multipliers like friendship bonus, which increases the output by by multiplying against it and training effectiveness. We also have specialty priority in the unique perk, which is going to stack multiplicatively with specialty priority in her support effects. All in all, to say that she will land on stamina training a lot more often. It is kind of a challenge to build her friendship because she doesn't have the initial friendship gauge that she would have if she was like, I think 3 limit broken. But Super Creek over here does have Swinging Maestro, which is a essential stamina skill for many Umas, especially if they want to do long distance tracks. It's not really essential, but it's really good in helping you sort of make up for stamina that you otherwise can't make up. So definitely, if you're looking to borrow a card, Super Creek is probably the best one at this point in the game until we do get Kita-san Black. So let's go ahead and get into the game, and I am going to go through this pretty quickly. We're going to explain everything I do. This video is going to be a little different. I am only going to include all the exciting races, because if I include all the races, I'm going to go ahead and get this 2 friendships and a skill hint. Skill hint is good because you build 5 more friendship than, you know, if you didn't do a skill hint, right? And you also learn a skill hint, meaning you have now a new skill, Nimble Navigator, I believe is what I got, that you can learn at a discount. So skill hints are really nice to get, but they're not like a huge priority. It's just like a kind of like a little extra. And over here we have power training with 3 of our speed friendships, or sorry, trainee partners, I guess you would say. So that's really good. And we have a skill hint on power training. A lot of power training over here. Okay, sure, no problem. And one thing I do want to note here is my career profile, my deck that I'm using. In some situations, this Mihono Bourbon, or rather, like if I were to play a little more, I might try replacing this Mihono Bourbon with a good SR speed card, because King Halo does have 20% growth in power. So that's something you can also try, because speed training gives you a bit of power, and for pace chasing, like that should be enough power that you get if you focus on speed training. For late surger, you might still have to train power a little bit, but that's just something to kind of keep in mind. This could very easily be a speed card if I wanted it to be, or if you have better speed cards, right? So just keep that in mind whenever you're making your own decks and, you know, evaluating your own gameplay. I think I am going to go ahead and go with wit training over here. And hopefully we're good. The problem and the biggest challenge of King Halo, by far, is the fact that she wants to win or top 5 in Hopeful Stakes. Hopeful Stakes, if that name isn't like super familiar to you now, I believe over time it will be. Because what Hopeful Stakes is a, I think it's like the G1 race. The one G1 race, like the soonest one after the Junior Make Debut. Junior Make Debut should basically land you, I believe, at the end of June or July. And so what happens there is, or rather, the next G1 race, the G1 race at the earliest available date should be the Hopeful Stakes. And so she wants to run a medium distance track as soon as possible and, you know, just try and win it. That's pretty difficult. That's not very easy to do. We're going to try and get this. Nice. That was a pretty good power training over there. But yeah, the fact that she wants to race a medium distance track so early, so quickly, is probably the biggest challenge of King Halo, because what it means is that you definitely cannot skimp out on stamina so early. And the ironic thing is that later in the run, King Halo's career becomes a little easier, because later on in the run, she wants to only run sprint and mile distance tracks. So yeah, she's a pretty difficult horse to raise, especially if you don't have a lot of resources, if you don't have a lot of cards. And so hopefully we're able to get a good performance here. Yeah, I think we could go... I think it's worth it. Yeah. 2 friendships over here, and building up a weak friendship with Super Creek. So for this run, or this upcoming race, I'm definitely going to... I think I want to recreation here. No, I need more energy. It's fine. Oh god. Okay. That's a bad sign. I don't know what is up with this, but we get like hit with these night owls on these like low account, these weak account runs so often. And maybe there's a bit of a conspiracy, you know, tinfoil hat speaking. But I think over here, let's go ahead and let's get fighter. Let's get fighter. Let's just see if that helps us out at all. Slightly increased passing ability as a late surger. And because I have more power than speed, I'm not going to try making her a front runner. I'm not going to try making her into a pace chaser. I'm just going to put her as a late surger, and hopefully she could just bully her way to the top. I don't know. We'll have to see. So, all right, first place. Very good showing. Let's keep it going. And now we have after they debut. Nice. We get some stats over here. We get some skill points. We don't have to do another maiden race, but 11 turns. And just to show you over here, like, I'm pretty sure there's no other G1 race you can do that is before the hopeful stakes. So, boom, boom, boom. And all these races, by the way, they don't change depending on the horse girl, unless there's like a specific one. Oh, I'm sorry. It is the first G1 race before medium distance tracks. There is Hanshin Turf, both of them, Asahi High and Hanshin Juvenile Fillies, whatever that means. These are the first G1 races, and they're mile distance tracks. That's my mistake. Oh well. Anyway, for medium distance tracks, it is that. None of these trainings are very good except the speed one, but it's okay. If it's okay, then I'm just gonna go for the infirmary, get some energy, and hopefully clear the night owl. That's not gonna happen apparently. Okay. That's not gonna happen apparently. There is 3 training here, but it's for guts. But we do need to build our friendship. Hopefully we don't get hit by the energy. Doesn't look like we did. Okay, none of the trainings here look that great because there's only 2 Umas on every one of them. So I am going to go for the infirmary. And we have cleared the night owl condition. Thank God. Alright, let's take a look over here. Skill hint with Asian Flash, but I don't think that's enough to bring me towards it. Let's train some stamina with Super Creek. We are going to have like a pretty decent balance of stats. And honestly, King Halo, I feel like without the right cards, you are going to not be able to raise very strong King Halos for like PvP or whatever. Just because of her sort of high demands in the beginning, in my opinion. So anyway, we're going to go for this one. Just build some stamina. Build up like a, how would you say, like savings in stamina, like a reserve. 47% for 3 Umas. Nah, that's probably a little too much. I'm going to go ahead and take a rest over here. Please don't hit me with Night Owl. Thank you. All right. And we have Guts for 3 and Director Akikawa. I think we'll do it, sure. But notice that 20% extra power growth coming in. We do have 180 power right now, and it is by far our biggest stat, which is very interesting and typically what you don't want to see in your runs. Here, though, we can finally go for some speed here. Get a hint for Super Creek. That's going to allow us to build up more friendship with her. If you could get a hint with Super Creek, especially if you don't have her max limit broken or you're not borrowing a max limit broken one, that's really good because Super Creek is really hard to build friendship with given the fact that she doesn't have initial friendship gauge. So it's very nice to get early hints with Super Creek, especially if she lands on speed or stamina training, because you do want to level up those facilities. And what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to level up speed. Like, yeah, there's a hint for Mihono Bourbon, but remember, Mihono Bourbon doesn't have any really skills that King Halo uses. She has front-running skills, which is just not that important. Let's go ahead and get our last training into speed here. And we are going to buy a skill because I do not feel very strong at all. So we are slightly increased velocity when in the lead by a fair margin. That's a Silent Suzuka skill, and it's not very strong for our purposes right now. I think I am going to go ahead and pick up the Nimble Navigator. I have a 20% discount. Slightly increased maneuverability when the way ahead is blocked in the last spurt. That one seems not too good. It might like be a little too late. By the way, I believe in one of my videos I said Studious or Field of Vision is good to get, especially if you're a late surger. Apparently not. Apparently it's not very good to get. So do not get not laser, do not get vision skills. The only reason why you would want vision skills is like kind of really for team trials, because they're usually cheaper to buy and they're easy to proc, and skill procs improve your score rating for team trials, which is typically what you want to do. Good showing, honestly, pretty good for this, for what we've been dealt with, this night owl, and having to spend 2 turns in the infirmary in order to clear the night owl. We have 6 turns left to reach the goal. We have Satsuki Sho, New Year's resolutions. We are going to go ahead and get the second option to build up that energy. That's what you typically want to do, especially if you're like at this point of energy, right? And you're like, you know, you have some stuff to recover. I don't know why the game was stalling there. Anyway, we have some stamina training over here. Let's go ahead and do that. We'll pick up 2 of them. And now let me take a look over here. 17%. I think we are going to go with the speed, because I do want like a good, decent chunk of speed. Speed is always king. Speed is always the most important stat, so make sure you do not neglect it. We're going to go ahead and rest King Halo over here, get some of our energy back. Some people will say like, oh, you should just do wit training instead. It depends. What you really want, if you're doing just wit training instead of like recovering your energy, which I still think is kind of weird or like really difficult to keep up, you definitely want at least 2 wit cards when you're doing that kind of strategy. So I don't think it's like for sure like, oh, you should always do wit training instead of resting. That's something I've been hearing like around, especially in the Discord community. By the way, join our Umacord. It's in the description below. Join the Umacord. We have a new Discord. It does get my pings, or it does give pings for whenever I drop a video, whenever I do stream in the future. But it's a pretty big and very fast growing community. I think we have around 1,300 members right now. And so it's cool. And like what I have in mind in terms of making a Discord community, or community for Umamusume in general, this is the first inspiration event. It's where you're going to see a lot of sparks from your Legacy Uma come down and as stats. But anyway, the thought I have for making a community in Discord, especially for something like Umamusume, I want people to be like very open to asking questions. You know, the idea of asking questions. This is really bad. Do we have firm conditions here? We do have firm conditions. Okay. Outer post proficiency. We could just try to like clock and hope we get like different like bracket 6 through 8 to get that speed that we kind of need. Honestly, I wish I had some more skill points for stamina. I feel like eventually this does become easier. This is kind of a little bit of a gamble, but whatever helps. I think I'm gonna go with power instead. You know, acceleration is important. Getting through a crowd is important. So let's go ahead and try that. 7? Ooh. Not very good. Not very good. Yeah, that's 7th place. We got to try again. 1 free per day. Let's see how it is. And this is just how these kind of runs are going to go with King Halo. She's just a really tough Uma to raise, especially if you don't have very good resources because of her high demands. She is, if Haru Urara is a not so ambitious horse girl, then King Halo is the direct opposite. She has eyes bigger than her stomach, I think is the saying, right? She has goals and aspirations bigger than what she can like feasibly do. But nice, we got 2nd place. But we're gonna prove that wrong today, so here we go, 2nd place. But like, you get my point. King Halo is a very ambitious horse girl, and that is reflective of her personality. You can tell she has like an ojo-sama, which is like Japanese for princess. She has a very princess personality, a very entitled, kind of spoiled personality. At least from the surface. I haven't really looked too much into her story. I don't really know her personality that deeply, but at least from the surface, she has that. She projects that type of energy. But anyway, with a Discord community that I'm trying to build, I just want to build a community, man, where just like new players can come in and they don't feel any type of way with just asking questions they think are dumb, or asking for help and advice. That's really all it is. And I want also to have people to come in to help those people as well, you know, and just chill, hang out, you know, talk about horse girls and how great this game is, because I really like this game. Oh man, Japanese Derby. Japanese Derby is like one of the races for the Triple Crown series. So maybe needless to say, like, the Japanese Derby is a very prestigious race. It's very high demand, and a lot of different horse girls have their eyes on winning this race. So it's just tough, man. If I can complete King Halo's goal of getting top 5, that's all I really want. I don't have any like bigger aspirations than that, not with this account. It's just a little tough. Fighter, skill proc, so hopefully we can push through that crowd. There is a pretty decent chunk just blocking her way, but we do have the inner track. If you do have the inner track, fundamentally your horse girl is running less of a distance than someone running on the outs, but it's looking a little tough. We did go towards the outside, I believe, and hopefully we can pick things up. Okay, skill proc. Oh, I think we might be able to overtake Asian Flash. Whoa. Hey, that was pretty good. That was pretty good. We beat Asian Flash, okay? By like a head. I want to say a head. Was it a head? Come on, tell me. By a head, we beat Asian Flash. That is exactly what we need. That is perfect. We don't have to waste the clock here, which is great. So hopefully... Oh, she's crying. Oh no, she's so sad. Yep. But maybe this is like her... Oh, well, maybe it's not her wake-up call. It looks like she wants to run the Kikuka Sho. I think it's Japanese Derby, Kikuka Sho, and... gosh, I don't remember the other one. But there's one other race, I believe, before the Japanese Derby. And it's... there's a lot of lore. There's a lot of cool, like, lore knowledge of all the races, the prestige behind it, the legends, the stories. But the Kikuka Sho, I think, is the last part of the Triple Crown series, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me in the comments below if I'm wrong. But, yeah, it's another really strong or really difficult race to complete. So, but nice thing is that King Halo has no delusion in being able to clear it, at least not with this account. So, I'm happy to see that. What we're gonna do over here is we are gonna train one thing, and I think we're just gonna go with stamina. Though, actually, I do believe, yeah, we don't have any more, like, long distance tracks. I think we can just pick up on speed now. Yeah. I'm gonna go for wit over here, because we just don't have that much wit training. And we are gonna go ahead and be able to train another wit, which hopefully gets us a friendship training on speed at the very end. Though it is sad that my mood isn't very high up there. I would suggest to... I want to say, like, I would suggest getting up your mood, but honestly, it's, I feel like it's just unfortunate that we got hit by the Night Owl, which lowered our mood rating. But for sure, yeah, going into the summer camp, it's really nice to get your mood rating up because it does improve the returns on your training. But the thing is, like, it's also hard, right? It's also difficult to fit in that recreation, those recreation turns, because you're trying to run in hopeful stakes, then whatever the track was after that, then the Tokyo Derby, the Japanese Derby. Like, that's tough. That is a tough ask to keep your mood up and also win all those, or place top 5 in all those races. So yeah, because you saw, like, the predictions, my stats were totally below par for all of them, but thankfully we were able to kind of edge it out, squeeze it out. I don't know, none of those sound really good, honestly. But you know, thankfully we were able to get that victory. So yeah, there's nothing really to do here. We are a C in long, but I'm just gonna skip this. There's not really too much to watch here. This is a race that King Halo only needs to place top 5. No, I'm sorry. She only needs to run in. She doesn't have to place in any sort of way. So we're just gonna keep it going. We're gonna skip this. We'll see, take a peek at the end, see what happens, double speed it. But yeah, it's just, there's no way. There's just such a big distance. That's not gonna happen ever. So 10th place totally makes sense. Maybe this is the last, like, these are the last tiers we'll see from King Halo. I don't know. But it looks like hopefully she's able to kind of come back down to earth and race in the tracks that she more excels in, which are the sprint distance, which are the mile distance tracks. But yeah, that might be her story. I have no idea. I've only played this game in Japanese before this, like before the global version, so I have no idea what exactly her story is. I would love to learn for sure, but in between, you know, making videos, doing my research, adapting the guides and the material I'm reading into something that's digestible and understandable by most people, and on top of just like, you know, doing IRL stuff, there's just a lot going on, man, and it's not too easy. But hey, I'm not gonna complain too much. I'll complain a little bit here in these guides, but not too much. I'm gonna go ahead and get this guts here. It does seem weird, but more friendship with Super Creek, getting it back up to 80 should be good overall to get more stats. Not that I really need the stamina. The upcoming race, the Takamatsunomiya Kinen, that's a mouthful, is a sprint distance track, if I'm not mistaken. So, like, we just don't really care too much about stamina at all. But I'll take any friendship trainings in stamina for sure, just to make King Halo as good of a racehorse that she can be. So, you know, hopefully we could do that. First one is energy, because we have top energy. What we're going to do instead is go for the second one, which will give me stats. So that's going to help me clear my race conditions, my career goals. This does have power here, but I think I'm just going to go speed anyway. Yes, friendship training is good. Yes, friendship training is important, but it's also important to level up your training facilities. So now we have like double friendship in speed, or double friendship training in speed. But just think, like, what if that was level 4 already, or what if that was level 5? That would have been a much bigger gain, right? So it's always important to note that. Over here, I will go ahead and just opt to get this one little bit of stamina. Friendship training with Super Creek, not bad over there, just to kind of get more balance in stats. I will do that. Not to say that balance in stats is that important. It really just depends on what kind of horse girl you're raising, what your goals are. But my goal with these runs is usually to help you make a strong horse girl, or as strong as you can make them, right? In terms of winning races. And if you want to win races, then you need to have more stamina. Because, as I've mentioned in my stats and strats guide, during career, all your stats are padded by 400. Padded, I don't know why people are confused about that. What I mean by padded is that these numbers, they have a hidden plus 400 to them. And so, if you rely on having the bare minimum stamina during career mode, and you're raising an Uma that needs to race medium distance tracks or long distance tracks, then guess what is going to happen when you put that same Uma into team trials, or in legend race, or in story mode? There are races you have to complete in story mode. What's going to happen is that you're not going to have that hidden plus 400, and you're going to fall behind. Your Uma's going to tire herself out, and they're going to die on the track, right? So we want to build stamina, but in this case, like, it's important to always go into every run with a list of priorities, right? And the priority is, for sure, like, I want to reach URA finale, and then the second priority, which is optional, but is something I want to push for, is I want to win URA finale. And The third goal is I want a horse that I could take to Legacy. I want a horse that I could take to training mode. I want a horse that I could take to team trials and reasonably expect to win the race. Maybe not farm the most amount of team trial points, but to win the race at the very least, or get higher placements. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure that we do have like a good amount of stamina. I don't know why my game is stalling, but here we go. Cool. That's the thing that's kind of worrying me from streaming, if I'm being honest, is because for whatever reason these days, and it might be the summer heat, it's like 95. I don't even know. It's like, it's insane temps all the time. We're out here in basically around Southern California, and so it's just really hot every day. Right now it's summertime, so it's that's why you always hear like static whenever I talk, is because the AC is in the back and I have my mic set up to only pick up noise if I'm speaking, but it'll pick up the fan. Anyway, that's a little too much. Either way, it's hot. It's hot, man. It's hot is all I'm trying to say, okay? So, like, yeah, it's, now I've just totally lost my train of thought. We're going to look at all these trainings here, and we're going to go with wit training, just because nothing else is really good. Even if you have 4 Umas here, it does not matter. You don't want guts. But I think this is actually a good opportunity to raise our mood to great, especially now we have our friendship trainings unlocked. Getting that friendship training is, or getting the biggest boost you can for your friendship trainings is now like the #1 priority. So, extra training events, you always want to pick, almost always want to pick the bottom option. The only time you don't is if you have an upcoming race that you're kind of anxious about, or if you already have like really high energy, then you would pick the top one for more stats. But this one looks good. I'm liking our stats right now. I think we can definitely reach URA Finale. I want to win though. I want to win. So we're always going to go into it with the intention of winning it. So let's see what we get. 6. Nope, we're picking it up though. We're accelerating. She's kind of having a little trouble, but wow, look at that sideways movement. Holy dude, I kind of want to do like a replay of that. I'm sad that I fast forwarded it. Wow, she deserves that. She deserves that laugh. She deserves to pop off there. What an amazing, like, hold on. I'm gonna cut towards the end. You're gonna see that again. All right, here we are. We're getting on to the final straight. Look at this sideways movement. She's being blocked by Nishino Flower. She's wedging her way through, blocked by Susuka, blocked by Maruzenski. How is she going to get in it? How is she going to get through? She's going to squeeze in between Silent Susuka, squeeze in between Maruzenski, and totally just pass Nishino Flower with ease. She is bullying her way through. What an insane horse girl right there. King Halo absolutely slaughtering the competition. What a massacre. That was insane. That was a lot. That was a lot. It's not easy for these horse girls to move sideways, okay? To actually maneuver and try and overtake them. That was a feat for her. Holy. That was really cool. Anyway. That's why I love this game, man. It's just so cool. It's just really cool. It's so... Oh, wow. 10% failure rate. Unfortunately. We have been pretty lucky, I will say. To pick the top option when it says get well soon. Get well soon means, like, you're not going to suffer too much mood loss. And what you're going to get is like just like -5 speed if you pick the top option. I'm going to, for this beach training, there's like pretty decent ones here, but it's not insane. Okay, it's really not. I'm gonna rest. I'm gonna rest here. We're gonna get great. I'm thinking we'll get like friendship trainings no matter what. It's not the best over here either, but it's about the same, right? We're gonna train with either Sweep Tosho on friendship for speed. Now we're going to like train with Asian Flash, and now we're training with both of them. So let's go ahead and do that. Typically, I would say we want to build some stamina as well here, but this one's a little tough. Yeah, there's just not a lot here, and I'm not willing to risk it. So I'm gonna go for a wit training just to get some more stats, because remember, summer camp training gives you level 5 training facilities, so it's always important to kind of leverage that. and give yourself some more stats, especially in places where you don't usually train. But what I'm trying to do is I'm just assessing like where I am right now stats wise, and I'm trying to figure out, hey, like what do I need to do in order to beat win the URA finale. So I'm gonna rest over here, and we are gonna go to the sprinters stakes with pretty easy or pretty good stats. I think the last race is the Tenno Sho. And so the Tenno Sho autumn, I think it's autumn, right? Yeah, I don't know, it might be spring. Either way, the Tenno Sho is going to be like another medium distance track. So that's why you can't really give up on stamina training, even though you have all these sprint and mile distance tracks there. So let's see what we do here. Looks like it's pretty tough for our King Halo, but yo, she's popping off, dude. She's doing so good. You can't not be proud of her. Like, seeing her lose and just do so poorly in the first 3 races, seeing her cry at the end of the Japanese derby, like, you can't not be proud of her and like her growth and her ability to kind of like pick herself back up and you know, set better goals for herself first of all, and do better, right? You can't not be proud of her, I feel. So yeah, I think, look, I'll be honest, this horse girl's not gonna make it for PvP or legacy racing. The stamina's just not there, so we're gonna go for speed. Our goal now is really just to try to win URA. That's exactly what I'm trying to do right now. So we did pick up Swinging Maestro. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. I probably should have. But Swinging Maestro has been helping us with the stamina and helping us place in top 5 with the other courses. But yeah, we have to place first in Tenno Sho, which is going to be pretty tough. We might need some RNG for this. We might need some pretty strong RNG for this. This is 320 stamina going in. Let's see how this goes. I am going to fast forward this until we get a little later. I want to see, did I get rushed? Did I get my stamina? And I did. I got my Swinging Maestro. Looks pretty good there. We got that uphill part of the track. Rounding the corner. It is a pretty small distance medium track. So actually I don't think it's too bad. This is another little uphill. Just look at the rail. The rail goes up. That means it's an uphill part of the track, right? So we found the outside. It looks like she's accelerating. She's totally catching up. Skill proc. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. It's going to be close. Oh, it doesn't look like we're going to do it, though. Wow, 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 wow. We're not doing it. We did not do it. Oh, gosh, dude. This is tough. That's tough. Okay, we are going to kind of skip towards the end here. Hopefully we could do it. Oh, no. We thought it was a shoo-in to win the URA finale. Turns out, it's not so much. But she's picking up way quicker here. Nah, this is it. This is it. She's got it. King Halo. Come on. Let's go, King Halo. Oh my god. There you go. All her goals completed. And that's exactly the first thing on our checklist is gone. It's done. We've did it. We've finally done it. I really wish we had enough time to play these concerts for these videos, but it's just, you know, it is what it is. I try and keep it short, and I want to try and keep it like pretty short, hopefully to get AI dubbing. It doesn't always work. Unfortunately, I think the Haruadara video was too long. I don't know by how much. I think YouTube doesn't like to auto-dub videos that are more than an hour, but apparently even close to it is also pretty bad. But we have 5 turns now to the URA finale qualifier, so I'm really happy to see that. Let's see if we could get like 600 speed. It looks like, I mean, obviously we should be able to. And if that's the case, I think, I'm wondering if our URA finale is going to be medium distance tracks. That's going to be scary. I'm gonna rest here, and we're gonna try and focus on some stamina training. Oh, but that's 2 of them right there. I don't think there's too much of a difference between 8 and 12. I'm okay with speed. Like, yeah, I'm okay with speed. I don't really need too much speed. Let's pick up our other stats. Let's try and make it... give ourselves a chance of winning URA if it's a medium distance URA. How can you know, or how can you determine, like, you can determine your URA finale race by doing more optional races for a preferred track distance and a preferred track type. So if you're wondering why I'm worried, it's because I do think King Halo raced in a lot of medium distance tracks, and so I have no idea. Oh, okay. That is a medium distance track. I could have controlled this. I could have raced optionally in a sprint or a mile. So you watching right now, that is something you can do, whether it's in the run you're doing right now following along with me, or in your follow-up run. Let's get the home stretch haste, dude. Home stretch haste has never failed me. I honestly think home stretch haste is so good. And outer swell, slightly increased velocity when passing another runner on the outside on the final corner. That's something we almost always do. Can I get that? I reset. Yeah, let's just do that, dude. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Home stretch haste, outer swell. Please, please give me this medium distance. This is... it's not looking good for stamina. And the only reason why, you might be looking, oh, the predictions is like, wow, it's really bad, right? And it is bad, but it's only bad, it doesn't consider the fact that we have Swinging Maestro. So that's usually enough to kind of help us give that boost that we need. Well, let's just see. First race usually isn't too hard. Oh, yeah. No, we got it. Oh, yeah, we got it. Home stretch haste was not pivotal there, but it's always nice to see a proc. Anyway, not to worry. Nothing to worry there. We are going to get some more stats here. Every time you clear a race, you do get more stats, so that's always great. Honestly, dude, I'm going to do it. I'm going to push. Because we have a clock. I feel like if we don't do this, then there's like no shot. So let's just do it. Nice. Okay. Like, I have to, like, come to terms. It's just like, am I okay with losing the next race if I fail the training? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm okay. But I want to give myself the best shot at winning the finals, the absolute pinnacle. So let's try and do it, dude. Because if we could get a win, with rare cards, we got 2 rare cards in this deck, okay? 2 rare cards. Like, I'd be stoked. That would be something. With this horse girl who's notoriously difficult to raise, that'd be insane. Here we go, outer swell. Ooh, wow. She is totally blocked, dude. Oh my god, that pink hair girl will not get out of the way. Oh no, we got totally blocked off. We gotta try again. Shoot. This is it, man. We have to do this one. This has to be it. I want to win at least this one. I don't care about winning the finals. I just want to win the semifinals. Come on, man. Give me the semifinals. Give me the semifinals. Ooh. 16, 14. It's not looking good. Oh my gosh. She's totally blocked by that girl. Nah. I think that's it. Nah, it's too late, King Halo. It's too late. He got 4th. She got top 5. Unfortunate. It is what it is, man. There's not too much to say. We got hit with the Night Owl early. And I think we only failed 1 training, so that wasn't too bad. But we didn't take a lot of risks, that's for sure. So it's not too surprising. Anyway, hopefully this is helpful to you. Hopefully it helps to showcase even these like kind of bad runs. But personally, I'm proud of King Halo. I think she did a fantastic job with what she was given. She was given 2 rare cards. She barely got enough to eat, okay? She's borrowing from a friend with only Limit Break 1 Super Creek. We have a Legacy Uma Silent Suzuka, which is practically useless to us. She only has Guts as a spark. She has Front Runner. Like, we have really bad things for this run. And hopefully, like, for you, if you're thinking like, oh, I want to see runs that, you know, you're not borrowing someone very powerful. I want to see runs where you're playing with rare cards and you're still doing pretty well. I think this is pretty good. But I guess you could tell me. So leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed this Umamusume content. My name is Rednu, and I'll see you on the next one. Sorry, this is the C+ ranking and our sparks, and these are our final stats and skills. So anyway, now I'm gone. Goodbye.